Hi everyone, Neil Wilcoxon here. Today we're going to be talking about my current Android phone. That would be the Moto X Pure Edition. Internationally, this is known as the Moto X Style, and just for reference, it's the model that came out from Motorola in 2015. So let's go ahead and get to some things that I thought about it. I've got some notes here. Why don't we start with the positives? So I was coming from the LG G4, and LG seemed to cut corners everywhere on that device. Not the case with this thing at all, even though it ended up costing me less, although that was partially due to it being an older model. So the first thing I noticed when I took out the box is that they had included a fast charger in the box. Yes, the LG G4 did support that quick charge functionality, but they didn't bother to include the charger. They included the same standard 1 amp charger that comes with every phone, and I had to go out and spend 30 bucks to buy one on my own. So it was nice of Motorola to include it. Keep in mind with that though, the cable is permanently attached to the charger, so I don't know if Motorola was trying to dissuade you from connecting it to a computer if you're an inexperienced user. Probably a good idea though. I had other micro USB cables lying around, so that wasn't a huge issue. The other key thing about this phone is that it runs pretty much pure Android, and the optimizations that Motorola has made I actually enjoy quite a bit. So one of the main things you'll notice is that when you wave your hand over the phone or something like that, let's go ahead and do that, you'll get this display of the time and any notifications that you've got. I like this, but with the caveat that they've ditched the LED notification light. So you actually have to be present with the phone to see what the notifications are. You can't look across the room and have something that's going all the time to tell you if you've got any notifications. So that's a bit of a downside to that feature. Also with this phone, it's got quite premium hardware. On the back, you'll notice a nice material here. LG's wasn't too bad, especially if you got the leather. I like a more plastic one that, because this isn't going to get damaged on anything and it's still premium. And around the edges, you've got this metal here. The glass on the front kind of wraps around the edges. I don't know if that makes it more prone to breaking, but it definitely does look premium and almost like another version of the iPhone. One major feature that I was seeking out when looking for a phone was an SD card slot, and if you'll notice, this phone doesn't really have a removable back cover. There's actually a tray up top here that contains both your SIM card, a nano SIM by the way, which meant I had to get a new SIM card, and also the micro SD slot. And you'll notice on the tray that there's actually a space for 2 SIM cards, but the model that they sell in the US isn't dual SIM. So they use the same tray, but you can't put 2 SIMs in here. That's not going to work. One more thing that was nice on Motorola's part is that they included a bumper case in the box. That broke after a few weeks and I threw it out, so unfortunately I don't have that to demonstrate to you. But they basically explained it in the manual as a lot of people will go out and buy a phone and buy the case a bit later, leaving it vulnerable in the meantime. So they've included the case to help deal with that. I don't generally use cases on my phones, so that wasn't a big deal to me. Now let's go ahead and get into some negatives. This device isn't perfect, and I wasn't necessarily expecting it to be, but there are a few things to think about depending on what you're looking for in a phone. These aren't in any particular order, they're just in the order I came up with them in, so skip around to find the things you're interested in. So first of all, this phone doesn't run perfectly all of the time. I've ran into a couple of glitches. I'll show a photo on the screen now of something that happened, and generally they're fixed by a reboot. And the device does reboot much more quickly than my G4 did, so that's a plus. But it's inconvenient to have to do that, and I really was expecting to not have any errors like this within my first month of ownership. Another thing that I didn't like about this phone was the battery. Motorola advertises on their website that this is going to have a day's charge and then some. That's not entirely true, especially with my usage on the phone. I could make it through some days, yes, but days with a little bit heavier usage, perhaps more than an hour of screen on time, I was having to charge during the day. Now it does charge quite quickly, so that's a good thing, but I would have liked to just have an extended battery and never have to worry about it whatsoever. Something that I was looking forward to when I first got this phone was that Motorola provides the unlock code for the bootloader. You're not having to do some workaround method or anything like that. They provide you the directions and the code to do it. Now, what they didn't tell me at the time was that the catch to that is that you put your name in a database with your serial number and say that your warranty is void. I didn't really want to do that coming from my past experience where My old phone went bad on a repair that would probably be covered under warranty, although it was out of the time period, so I wasn't really prepared to do that right away. I'll definitely be exploring doing this in the future, and definitely once the warranty is ended and it doesn't matter anymore, I'll be doing it. This is what unlocks rooting for most phones and putting other ROMs on it. Basically, what it allows you to do by unlocking the bootloader is boot into a software package that wasn't provided by the manufacturer. This is something that I've done with pretty much all of my phones in the past, and I was a little bit disappointed to have to delay that because Motorola wants to put me in a database saying my warranty is void. With that bootloader thing is the updates to Android. When you can unlock the bootloader, you go and get something like CyanogenMod, although they've shut down and they've moved to another project. But you can go and find a ROM that has the most up-to-date version of Android. I can't do that right now because my bootloader is not unlocked, and Motorola is not supplying the updates for Android 7. I don't know when it's coming or if at all. They haven't really put out any good word on that, and I thought Motorola had a pretty good reputation for getting those out quickly, but maybe with this Lenovo ownership that's recently come about, they're not being as prompt with those updates. So I'll keep waiting here, and I don't think it looks very promising. One final thing about the hardware design is that the screen runs really close to the edges. And normally I kind of like this because you're not wasting any space, but the way the glass wraps around the edges, the way you hold the phone, sometimes in some situations when you're trying to hold it with one hand and use it with your thumb or something, you end up making contact with one of the edges of the screen, and that means that any other touches from your other fingers get rejected. And so that's frustrating, but as long as you know it's existing and it's not that your touchscreen is broken, you can kind of work around that. So I didn't put too much weight on that issue. That's about it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. This is going to be my Android phone for a while, so let me know if you have any questions and I'll try some stuff out. It'll be a while before I get around to unlocking the bootloader. We'll see, probably towards the summer of this year, I'll be a little less worried about that warranty issue. Because there's just a curve to how products die over time, and I'll figure that out to when I'm least at risk to needing the warranty and go ahead and do that, maybe make a video about it. If you are looking to buy this phone, there are just a few left to buy. It is the 2015 model and it's 2017 now. I saw some at B&H. They're also at Amazon, I believe, but only from third-party sellers. So I'll try to put some links down in the description for you if you're still trying to find it. And that's about it for this video. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys again soon.